Moving into our last story of the day, we have a mob of ninth graders accused of beating up and hospitalizing a female assistant principal as she tried to break up the fight. Quote, she loves those kids. I don't know about it anymore, folks. Hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. We've talked about this so many times. I can do story after story, week after week, about how teachers are being assaulted, abused, both physically and verbally, all the time. But I don't cover it. I just bring awareness to what is happening. This is an epidemic, but the school systems don't want to do anything about it. The Democrats and progressive left don't want to do anything about it. From what I've seen, it's the conservatives and Republicans that actually want to solve the issue and be harsh on this type of stuff. But again, we are a minority inside the education system. So a mob of ninth graders are accused of beating up a female assistant principal, quote, kicking her and pulling her hair, according to one teacher, as she tried to break up a fight on Thursday at Westfield High School in Spring, Texas. We do have a video here of it, but every time I post any sort of video that YouTube, the Democrats, and progressive left don't even remotely like, we get demonetized, we get our video taken down, or it gets pushed to have to be 18 years or older, even though when you have Democrats and progressive left push the same video out there and blame it on Republicans somehow, how that makes sense, I don't know, but this is what they do, then their video gets to stay, but ours gets taken down or something happens to it. It's just remarkable. So I'm not going to show it, but I'm sure you can picture 50, 60 kids watching a fight, and then the teacher, or should I say the assistant principal, coming in, trying to break it up, and they all start ganging up on her and just beating the crap out of her. So what are the details of all this? Well, one of the teachers at the school site says it breaks my heart and makes me want to cry. After viewing and seeing the shocking beatdown, the teacher requested basically not to be on camera and to mod her voice over fear of retaliation from the school district, which is insane. We got a video clip here for you folks from a local news outlet covering this story, and we'll break it down for you as well. I'll give my commentary on what I think about this all. Let's go and roll it.
Well, an assistant principal at Westfield High School in Spring ISD beaten up so badly at school, she had to be rushed to the hospital. That is according to her family.
Tonight, other staff members are coming forward saying this is not the first time faculty have been injured by students on the job. They fear it will not be the last. KPRC2's Devin Clark is outside Westfield High School with that part of the story all new at 10.
I did speak to that now injured assistant principal's family today, who says she was attacked for no reason while trying to break up a fight. Now in a hospital, hardly able to talk. Meanwhile, other faculty here at Westfield High School sounding off about what they say is a history of violence and little being done to stop it.
It broke my heart. It makes me want to cry.
This Westfield High School teacher asked not to be identified out of fear of retaliation from Spring ISD. Still, she says she felt compelled to speak out after the assistant principal here suffered a brutal beatdown while trying to break up a fight.
3 or 4 other kids jumped in on her and just pummel her to the ground. And they are kicking her and pulling her hair.
The assistant principal had to be rushed to the hospital.
She loves those kids. She is the nicest person. And she's the best administrator that we have at Westfield High School.
Spring ISD released a statement that partly reads, quote, all students involved in the altercation will be subject to the full extent of disciplinary action available. We take these issues very seriously as the safety of our students.
No, you don't. You just got done hearing how this has happened time and time again. You don't take these issues seriously because if you did, they wouldn't be happening time and time again. And you got to love this language. Look at this. Full extent of disciplinary action available. Keyword available. Because sometimes the schools are barred from doing certain disciplinary action, like giving them a suspension, a week-long suspension, literally kicking them out of the school altogether for this type of behavior, or having detentions. I mean, that is a key word there, because their hands might actually be tied on this, so they can't do anything, because the progressives and Democrats love this type of stuff, because if they didn't, it wouldn't be happening. Folks, I am telling you right now, this is an epidemic, and I'll come back to this really quickly. I just want to highlight, you have no idea what is going on in the school system. I'm an educator myself. Very rarely do I like using that kind of, I don't want to call it position of authority, but like somebody like, well, you don't understand what I'm going through. This is an epidemic. Teachers, regardless if they're nice and they're the best teacher ever and super professional and never yell and treat students terribly, even if you're the best teacher and you treat everybody with respect and you're quiet and you're calm and you do your job, there's still students out there that don't care a two about their education. They actually want to ruin it for everybody else. And because the Democrats don't want to give harsh punishment to these students, they just sit there and allow this stuff to go on time and time again. This is the result of it. So everybody gets screwed at the end of the day. The students that want to have a quality education, they get screwed. The parents that want their students to have a quality education, they get screwed. And then the teachers get screwed as well. So, it's just, and then they can't fathom why this stuff happens. Oh, well, we should just give them a slap on the wrist. Just let them go back in the classroom and deal with the same teacher again that's causing these disruptions. It's remarkable. It's remarkable.
Students and staff is our highest priority. There will be no tolerance for any altercations or disruptions to learning, end quote. But this teacher says that simply isn't true.
When you call for help to the front office, nobody ever shows up.
Adding the entire campus only has 2 officers.
We don't feel safe. Faculty don't feel safe, and parents, if the parents knew how unsafe the inside of the school is, they would be upset.
We're not really sure how long the assistant principal is going to have to stay in the hospital. Her father says she's suffering from excruciating head pain that will need to be constantly monitored. She's also going to need a CAT scan. Reporting outside of Westfield High School, Devin Clark, KPRC 2 News.
God, if I was that principal, multi-million-dollar lawsuit, just huge lawsuit, especially if this keeps happening over and over again. And I can't emphasize this enough, you guys. I know I'm repeating myself. We could do these stories day in and day out. It's not one of those things that I've talked about in the past where the progressive left and Democrat Party utilize outliers and then subscribe it to the data set of those as a whole. The abuse that teachers get happens in every single school. Every school. It just comes mostly in the form of verbal abuse. The physical abuse happens in almost every school district as well. Even that comes from pushing a teacher. And people are for it. Parents and students, they let this stuff slide all the time. And then when you go, hey, why don't we talk about removing these bad behavior kids from the classroom altogether and putting them in their own separate classroom or kicking them out of the district and letting the parents deal with it at the end of the day? All of a sudden, you're looked at as a bad guy or a racist or a bigot or whatever it may be when you're trying to give people a quality education, but you have this one knucklehead in the class that doesn't want a quality education, that wants to disrupt it for everybody and ruin the environment altogether. So when you talk about removing the cause of the problem, now you're the problem for wanting to give a solution to the problem. You see how that one works? And you see it right here. That's a reason why the teacher didn't want to be on camera, for retaliation from the school district for wanting to solve the problem. So the Democrats and progressive left, they caused this mess, you guys. It's not conservative or Republicans. We want to solve this issue, but we're the minorities on campus. We got to keep our mouths shut because we're the racist, biggest, sexist, homophobes, whatever the hell you want to call them, even though we're not. We just want kids to get a quality education. This is happening everywhere. You got teachers being stabbed. My friend got stabbed in Long Beach before. Told you all about that one. I've been almost assaulted in the classroom with students picking up desks trying to throw them at me. I've never yelled at a student. I've always been, I shouldn't say I never yelled at a student. I've definitely disciplined a student for leaving my class early many of times. That's happened before, and it was definitely a cause to give that type of reaction, because if something happened to that kid for leaving class early, guess who's liable? Me and the school district. That kid goes out, goes home, gets hit by a car, guess who's being sued? Whose career's over? Mine, as well as the school district's being sued for millions of dollars because that kid wanted to leave early. So that one was granted. But other than that, I'm a pretty laid-back teacher, I would like to think. I think a lot of the students would agree with that as well. I show everybody respect. Even if they show me disrespect, I will still be kind and polite 100%. But students are disrespectful. They're abusive. The parents enable the stuff at home as well because they didn't do anything about it. You have the society at large causing this problem because no longer can you receive certain type of punishment at home, or else you'll go to jail, or you have some sort of child abuse as well for giving a kid a spanking or whatever it may be nowadays. We all know how that one goes. So, the Democrats want to sit there and destroy our education system, which, by the way, folks, that is somewhat of an announcement. That is probably what my next book's going to be about, the rise and fall of the American education system, basically how the Democrat Party destroyed that one. We're currently in the research phase. We'll see if actually anything comes of it. If we can't create a book out of it, then, we'll move on to the next topic. We will write another one nonetheless, but let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. I could ramble for hours about this. Obviously, it strikes a chord with me as somebody that's a teacher. I want kids to get a good education. I don't like when kids are disruptive or hurting faculty members who are employees, by the way. Anywhere else, you wouldn't allow that behavior to happen inside a workplace. A school system or a classroom is a place of work, a place of business, and we keep just going, oh, well, they're teenagers. Oh, they're kids, oh, oopsie, we should let them ride. It doesn't work that way. Some of these people are high school students. They're 16 to 18 years old. They can think about their decision making that they're happening. If they make a bad decision, I'm sorry, there's consequences for it. But again, we can't have consequences anymore in the school system because, again, whatever reason it may be, bigotry or racism, systemic racism, or that student just didn't know better, or they have a problems at home, or whatever it may be. There's always some sort of excuse for you getting knocked out as a teacher. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.